Starting today, we will be discussing a newly published book, The 5 Types of Wealth, a transformative guide to design your dream life, released on February 4, 2025. The author, Sahil Bloom, is both an investor and a writer. Although still young, Bloom's book quickly went viral upon release, landing on the New York Times bestseller list in its first week. It also received endorsements from high-profile figures, including Apple CEO Tim Cook, and sparked much discussion on X. In short, Bloom argues that wealth in life is not limited to money. Instead, there are 5 types of wealth: time wealth, social wealth, mental wealth, physical wealth, and financial wealth. He designed a scorecard system to help people evaluate and develop all 5. We've often talked in our channel about systematizing life. Personally, I don't like binding myself with a balancing system. I tend to admire those who throw themselves wholeheartedly into a single big goal. Still, Bloom's systematic approach makes sense. It helps you avoid losing yourself. Modern life makes it very easy to lose direction. Obligations, temptations, tasks, and goals pile up endlessly, leaving us unsure what to pursue. Some things aren't worth chasing at all, while some truly valuable things are easily overlooked. Bloom's system helps clarify what matters and what doesn't. One highlight of the book is its use of the latest research findings. The principles themselves aren't new. Socrates would agree with them, as would Confucius and Mencius. But by combining them with modern data and studies, Bloom makes them more persuasive and impactful. Rather than telling you exactly what life you should live, this book reminds you what kind of life you should not live. Your choices are ultimately your own, but some lessons can help you avoid common traps. Take, for example, the popular online discussions about how much money you need to save before reaching financial freedom. The standard formula goes: if I had a certain amount of money in the bank, I could live off the safe, steady interest without working, maintaining my lifestyle indefinitely. In other words, the amount needed to lie flat given today's interest rates. Let me say this clearly. Only poor people, poor in the derogatory sense, calculate this way. These people have never actually had money, and they certainly won't achieve financial freedom by daydreaming about interest income. Truly wealthy people don't think in terms of living off interest. In 2018, Harvard Business School professor Michael Norton surveyed a group of millionaires, asking whether they felt happy, and if not, how much more money they would need to feel completely happy. The millionaires overwhelmingly said their current income was not enough. Most thought they would need 2 to 3 times more to feel fully happy. Bloom heard about this study and posed a similar question to some wealthy friends. One entrepreneur worth $30 million said he needed $60 million. Another worth $100 million said he would need 5 times that amount. Someone with $25 million wanted at least 2 to 3 times more. The reality: once you have money, you still won't feel completely happy. One of Bloom's friends sold his company and suddenly made $100 million. He rented a yacht to celebrate with family and friends. But the moment they reached the marina, his joy evaporated. Next to their yacht was an even larger, more luxurious one. Someone casually remarked, "I wonder who's on that yacht." There's a psychological concept called the arrival fallacy, the mistaken belief that reaching a goal will bring lasting happiness. In reality, once you achieve one goal, you immediately see the next. Human nature, shaped by evolution, ensures we are never fully satisfied. The deeper truth is that money contributes very little to happiness. Bloom interviewed people in their 80s and 90s, asking, if you could give your 30-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be? They answered with things like, spend more time with family, take care of your health, and love more. Not one mentioned money. This isn't to say money is unimportant. Money enables a wealthy life, but it is not the entirety of one. For those with low income, each additional dollar can significantly increase happiness. But once you pass a certain threshold, more money doesn't make you happier. Modern media and social networks are saturated with depictions of wealthy lifestyles, tricking young people into believing money is the most important thing, and that what they lack most is money. But the truth is that money's effect on happiness follows a law of steeply diminishing returns. We all know many things in life matter more than money. The problem is, we often fail to notice them. Bloom illustrates this with a story at the start of his book. At the time, he was working in California, while his parents lived on the East Coast. A friend asked him, "How often do you see your parents?" He replied, "About once a year." The friend then asked, "How old are they?" He said, "Around 65. The friend responded casually, "Then you'll probably see them about 15 more times." Bloom was stunned. The math was right. If he visited once a year, and their life expectancy was around 80, there were only about 15 visits left. When you're in your 30s and your parents are in their 60s, you don't usually think this way. You assume there's plenty of time. But in this dimension of wealth, what you have left is already very limited. Management guru Peter Drucker famously said, "What gets measured, gets managed." Why are we so sensitive about money but not about visits with parents? Because money is easy to measure, you know your monthly income exactly. But there's no countdown clock telling you how many times you'll see your parents again, or how many weekends you'll spend with your child. If such a countdown existed, its impact would dwarf the numbers in your bank account. Bloom's insight is to measure forms of wealth that previously went unmeasured. He divides life's wealth into 5 categories. 1. Time wealth. A scarce and precious asset, since everyone only has so much. The measure is whether you spend your attention on the highest leverage activities. If you don't control your own time, or waste much of it on meaningless tasks, you lack time wealth. 2. Social wealth. The love, friendships, and social support you have. The measure isn't just breadth but depth. Social wealth shapes the quality of all other wealth. Without it, even a busy life can feel meaningless. 3. Mental wealth. Your connection to higher purpose and meaning. It provides intrinsic motivation, clarity on what you want, and direction for your choices. 4. Physical wealth. Your health, energy, and vitality. Unlike the others, it naturally declines over time and requires active maintenance. 5. Financial wealth. Assets minus liabilities. Bloom also considers expectations as a form of liability. Lowering expectations may itself increase financial wealth. But there are, of course, more active ways to build it. Bloom argues that life has different seasons, where different types of wealth deserve priority. For people in their 20s and 30s, for example, time wealth may be more important than physical wealth, though health still matters. He even created a scoring system. Each statement is rated from 0, strongly disagree, to 4, strongly agree. You can score yourself, or take the online quiz at www.wealthscorequiz.com. Bloom suggests building rituals around reflection, monthly or quarterly reviews of your 5 types of wealth, with adjustments as needed. Personally, I think the core principles matter more than the rituals. But 3 practical tools in his book are particularly interesting. The Life Razor. Like Occam's razor or Hanlon's razor, a razor helps cut through complexity to focus on essentials. The Life Razor is a single, non-negotiable principle that guides your decisions with top priority. For example, Netflix co-founder Mark Randolph's Life Razor was every Tuesday at 5 p.m. no matter what, he leaves work to have dinner with his wife. Work never overrides this commitment. A Life Razor has 3 traits. Autonomous. You can execute it yourself, without anyone's approval. Ripple creating. It shapes secondary effects around you. Once others know you're non-negotiable, they respect it. Identity defining. It reinforces who you are and helps with tough choices. Bloom's own Life Razor is, "I am my son's coach." Whether his son plays soccer or basketball, he commits to coaching the team. This shows love to his son, responsibility to his wife, and sets boundaries such as refusing high-paying jobs requiring constant travel. Another manager chose, "I will do one good deed every day and tell no one about it." Your Life Razor is not a limitation but a source of empowerment. The anti-goal. These are the outcomes you absolutely want to avoid while pursuing your goals, even if it means not reaching the goal itself. For instance, if your goal is career success, your anti-goals might include, "I won't sacrifice time with my kids," or "I won't harm my health and sleep." This relates to the concept of a Pyrrhic victory, named after King Pyrrhus of Epirus. Though he repeatedly defeated Rome in battle, each victory came at devastating cost, ultimately leading to his downfall. Winning isn't everything. Anti-goals prevent hollow victories. The high leverage system. Effort and reward aren't linear. Sometimes 10 units of effort yield only 1 unit of return, while 1 unit of effort can produce 10-fold returns. High leverage systems maximize outcomes with minimal input. This means you shouldn't apply equal effort everywhere. You need to concentrate on what truly matters. Late in his career, Lionel Messi often appeared to be walking on the field. This wasn't laziness but conservation, saving his energy for decisive moments. Similarly, Warren Buffett rarely trades but waits patiently for high-leverage opportunities, foregoing many small wins for much bigger ones. To balance the 5 types of wealth, you must use high-leverage systems. Otherwise, how could you earn money, spend time with family, and still get 7 hours of sleep each night? More on this later. One piece of good news: Bloom sold his California house and moved back east, where he now lives near his parents and sees them daily. That's it for today's content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you feel there is value in this, please like, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts or suggestions in the comments section. Let's grow together and read more good books.